Dona Rosa's magical plants. Dona Rosa woke up that day with a new wrinkle in the corner of her eye. Another one, she sighed, running her finger over her skin. She had just turned 60, but it wasn't just her age that bothered her. It was that feeling that time was passing too quickly. His grandchildren were growing up, his hair was graying, and, sometimes, he even forgot where he left his glasses. "Grandma, are you standing there looking in the mirror again?" asked Lucas, his 12-year-old grandson, entering the kitchen with an apple in his hand. "I'm just seeing if this new wrinkle disappears on its own," she joked, but the smile didn't reach her eyes. Lucas bit the apple and sat down next to her. "You don't need that. Grandma is the prettiest on the street." Dona Rosa ruffled his hair. "Your grandmother is beautiful, but it's difficult to compete with the neighbor, Dona Marta. She uses a cream that costs more than my blood pressure medicine. What if I tell you a secret?" Lucas lowered his voice, as if he were going to say something forbidden. "What secret?" "We can make a homemade cream. Better than Dona Marta's." Dona Rosa laughed. "Ah, Lucas, don't invent fashion. What do you know about cream?" "I know that my friend Lucia's mother uses plants for everything. She said there are some that even make your skin look new." Dona Rosa crossed her arms. "And where do we find these magical plants?" "In our own backyard." Lucas jumped out of his chair. "You have a lot of bushes back there that we don't even use. I bet there are good things." Dona Rosa raised an eyebrow. "I kill. That's weed." "No, it's not." Lucas ran to the back door and came back with a handful of green leaves. "Look. This here is rosemary. Lucia's mother said it's good for memory and skin." Dona Rosa took the leaves and smelled them. I smell good. But rosemary alone won't do the trick. Then let's search." Lucas opened his grandmother's old notebook. "We find it on the internet." Dona Rosa sighed. "Okay, but if it's nonsense, you'll have to help me pull out real weeds." Lucas laughed and typed into Google, "plants that make your skin look young." Within seconds, a list appeared. The two of them leaned over the screen, reading aloud. "Aloe vera, moisturizes and heals," Lucas read. "You have that chubby little plant in your backyard. The one I use when I burn my hand making cake?" "That's right." "Ginger, anti-inflammatory and antioxidant," continued Dona Rosa. "But isn't that for a sore throat?" "Also. But if we grate it and mix it with honey, it can be applied to our face." "Stay soft." Dona Rosa laughed. "You're trying to turn me into a salad." "It's not salad, Grandma, it's science." Lucas clicked on another link. "Check it out. Turmeric fights wrinkles and blemishes. You use it on rice, but you can make a mask." But it's going to make my face yellow." "Just a little. Then we wash." And so, the two spent the afternoon researching. They found 20 plants that promise to make your skin younger, your hair stronger, and even give you more energy. In addition to rosemary, aloe vera, and ginger, it had mint, refreshes and whitens the skin; chamomile, soothes and reduces dark circles; calendula, heals and hydrates; sage, strengthens hair and reduces hair loss; dandelion, detoxifies and adds shine; lavender, relaxes and prevents wrinkles; basil, antioxidant and antibacterial; aloe vera, another name for aloe vera deep hydration; horsetail, strengthens nails and hair; lemon balm, reduces stress, and stress gets old; nettle, rich in iron, good for skin and hair; thyme, antiseptic, cleans the skin; lemongrass, tones and reduces pores; olive leaf, protects against free radicals; ginkgo biloba, improves circulation, and the skin becomes more vibrant; ginseng, gives energy and firmness; green tea, fights aging inside and out. Dona Rosa was impressed. "Look how much stuff we have here at home and didn't know." "So it is." Lucas closed the notebook. "Tomorrow we start. First, the turmeric mask with honey. Then, the rosemary tonic for memory. What if it doesn't work? Then we'll try another one." Lucas shrugged. "The worst thing is the yellow skin." Dona Rosa laughed and hugged her grandson. "You're crazy, but I like you." The next day, Lucas came home from school with a pot of honey and a piece of fresh turmeric. "I got it from Lucia's mother," he said, proudly. Dona Rosa grated some of the root and mixed it with honey until it formed a thick paste. "And now, Now you apply it to your face and wait 15 minutes. What if it itches? It won't itch, Lucas assured, but Dona Rosa was already suspicious. She applied the mixture to her face and sat on the porch, waiting. Lucas stood by, counting the minutes on the clock. Are you itching yet? He asked. No, but it's weird. It's because it's working. After 15 minutes, Dona Rosa washed her face. Lucas watched, anxious. And there. It's different, she said, running her hand over her skin. Softer. It's sore. I said. In the following days, they tested other recipes. They made a rosemary toner to put on your face in the morning, a ginkgo biloba tea to drink at night, and even a lavender oil to massage your hands. You're smelling really good, Lucas joked. It's the perfume of youth. Dona Rosa laughed. A week later, Dona Marta passed by the house and stopped, surprised. Rosa, you look different. Did you do anything to your hair? Dona Rosa smiled, mysteriously. Oh, just some homemade medicine. Medicines? For what? To look beautiful like you, Marta. Dona Marta narrowed her eyes, suspicious, but Dona Rosa just laughed and entered the house. Grandma, you're turning into a witch, Lucas said, laughing. Good witch, my grandson. Good witch. And so, between laughter and experiences, Dona Rosa discovered that the real magic was not in expensive creams or secret formulas, but in the little plants that grew right there, in the backyard. And best of all, she was not alone on this journey. There was Lucas, the curious grandson, who transformed a simple bush into a treasure of health and beauty. Over time, the wrinkles did not disappear completely. After all, they were part of her story, but her skin became firmer, her hair shinier, and, most importantly, Dona Rosa felt more alive than ever. And it's all thanks to 20 little plants that, without her knowing, were always there, waiting to be discovered. Grandma, what if we make a book? Lucas suggested one day. Dona Rosa's magical plants. Dona Rosa laughed. Who wants to read about an old woman and her crazy grandson? Everyone, Lucas assured. Because everyone wants to stay young. And so, between an aloe vera mask and chamomile tea, a new passion was born in their lives. Dona Rosa learned that getting older was not the end, but a new phase full of discoveries. And Lucas? Well, he earned the title of plant wizard at school, and a grandmother who, at 60, looked 50. And it was like this, with simplicity and a little daring, that they proved that nature had already given all the gifts they needed. All that was needed was someone willing to look carefully. Dona Rosa and Lucas started testing the plants on everything. For breakfast, lunch, even afternoon juice. The neighbor, Dona Marta, was surprised when she saw the pair in the backyard picking dandelions. Isn't that weeds? She asked, suspicious. It's medicine, Lucas replied, proudly. And it's also good for your skin. Dona Marta crossed her arms. If it was good, they would have already discovered it before. Dona Rosa smiled and handed over a bag of dry leaves. Here, make some tea. Then tell me if you didn't sleep better. The next day, Dona Marta appeared with her eyes shining. Guys, I slept like a log. And look at my hand. She extended her arm. It's less wrinkled. Lucas jumped with joy. It's sore. We spoke. Dona Rosa laughed. Now we need to convince Sujoa about the bakery. The man only drinks black coffee and complains of back pain. Let's make some bread with rosemary, Lucas suggested. He won't even notice. And so it was. The bread was delicious, and Sujoa, without knowing it, started to move better. He even stopped grumbling so much. But not everything was easy. One day, Lucas overdid the dose of ginger in his juice and spent the entire afternoon with heartburn. Do you see? Dona Rosa scolded. Plants are like spices. Little is good, too much is poison. Lucas looked regretful. Sorry, Grandma. I promise that now I read everything first. Mrs. Rose ruffled his hair. Better this way. Otherwise, instead of being rejuvenated, we become children again. They laughed, but deep down they knew they had something special. Plants weren't really magical, but they worked miracles. Like the mint that calmed Lucas' teacher's nervousness. Or the sage that helped the street dog stop itching. Grandma, we should teach more people, Lucas said one day, while watering the pots. Dona Rosa thought a little. Perhaps. But not everyone believes what they can't see. Then we'll show you. Lucas insisted. Have a day of recipes in the square. Dona Rosa sighed. All good. But if someone calls us crazy, it's up to you to explain. Lucas smiled. Deal. And so, the following Saturday, the square was packed. Dona Rosa and Lucas set up a table with teas, ointments, and fresh leaves. At first, people only looked from afar, until a girl approached. Does that really work? Try it, Dona Rosa said, handing over a glass of hibiscus tea. The girl drank, made a face, but then smiled. Wow, okay. And is it sweet without sugar? It's nature, Lucas replied. Little by little, the table became surrounded. Dona Rosa explained. Lucas wrote down the recipes in an old notebook. Even the mayor stopped by and picked up a bottle of calendula ointment. For my wife, he said. She lives with knee pain. At the end of the day, they were both tired, but happy. We made a difference today, Lucas said, lying down on the grass. Dona Rosa sat next to him. Yes, he did. And that's just the beginning. Lucas looked up at the sky. Grandma, what if we open a little shop? Dona Rosa and Neto, plants that heal. Dona Rosa laughed. You don't give up, do you? Never. Lucas replied, raising his arms. And so, between dreams and leaves, they continued writing their story. Why could getting older be inevitable, but losing the will to live? Never that. The idea for the little shop never left Lucas's head. The next morning, he woke up early and went to the old shed at the back of the yard. The walls were full of cobwebs, but the place was spacious. Perfect. Here you can store dried plants and make medicine, he murmured, wiping dust from a shelf. Dona Rosa arrived with a broom in her hand. Have you started without me? I'm just seeing space, Lucas smiled. She shook her head, but her eyes sparkled. Okay. But first we need a better name. How about Reyes Viva? Lucas suggested. Dona Rosa thought a little. I liked. It has to do with us. The two spent the day sweeping, organizing pots and separating herbs. By the end of the afternoon, the warehouse already looked like something else. Tomorrow we buy plates and make a price list, Lucas said, excited. Calm down, boy. One step at a time, Dona Rosa laughed. But Lucas didn't want to wait. That night, he drew a poster on brown paper. Living root, herbs that take care of you. He showed it to Grandma before going to sleep. Tomorrow we'll hang it on the fence, she said, patting him on the shoulder. The next day, the news spread quickly. The first client was Dona Marta, who lived nearby. I heard you have rosemary tea for memory, she said, holding the bag tightly. Yes, he has. Lucas replied, running to get a bag. Just boil 2 leaves in a cup. Dona Marta paid and left happy. After her, more people came. Suzhou, who wanted ointment for his back, Maria, who needed chamomile tea to sleep, even the girl at the bakery, who took a bottle of lavender oil for the burns. We are having success, Grandma, Lucas said, counting the coins at the end of the day. It's just the beginning, Dona Rosa replied, but this time she didn't laugh. I was too busy taking orders. A week later, the warehouse was no longer sufficient. The line at the door grew, and Lucas had an idea. What if we rent a space in the city? A place with a showcase, beautiful shelves. Dona Rosa crossed her arms. You don't stop, right? Not even. Lucas replied, hugging her. And so, between herbs, clients and dreams, Reyes Viva grew. Because when we believe in something, even the oldest roots find the strength to sprout again. Dona Rosa looked at the warehouse full of people and sighed. Okay, Lucas. Let's see this space in the city. But only if it's close to the square, where the sun shines brightly in the morning. Lucas jumped with joy. I'm going to call the broker right now. The next day, the two went downtown. The place was small, but it had a large window and an old wooden sign on the door. Dona Rosa ran her hand over the wall. This place has seen a lot. And now go see Reyes Viva, Lucas said, excited. The broker smiled. You are lucky. The owner agrees to rent it for a good price, as long as they take care of the place. Dona Rosa didn't hesitate. Closed. Within a week, the space was already different. Lucas painted the walls light green, and Dona Rosa arranged the shelves with glass jars full of herbs. In the middle of the store, they placed a wooden table with a kettle that was always hot. Look, Grandma, Lucas said, pointing to the window. We could put some plants there. And a poster written Reis Viva in beautiful letters, Dona Rosa added. The inauguration was on Saturday. Lucas invited everyone. Maria, the gentleman behind the back, even the girl from the bakery. And didn't more people show up than they expected? Wow, Grandma, it's full. Lucas whispered, nervously. Relax, boy. We just need to be ourselves. And that's what they did. Dona Rosa explained each herb. Lucas served tea and took orders. At the end of the day, the store was empty, but their hearts were full. I think we made it, Lucas said, looking around. Dona Rosa smiled, but this time it wasn't just out of happiness. Her eyes sparkled a little brighter. Not yet, Lucas. This here is just the beginning. And so, between mint tea and laughter, Reis Viva took on a life of its own. Because when we plant something with love, the roots grow stronger than we imagine. The next day, Lucas woke up early, with the sun shining through the window. He rubbed his eyes and smiled. The store was still quiet, but he could already smell the herbs drying in the yard. Grandma, wake up, he shouted, jumping out of bed. Dona Rosa appeared at the bedroom door, in a nightgown and slippers, with her grey hair messy. What's this hurry, boy? The world will not end today. But we have to open early. Check it out. Lucas showed his cell phone. There are already 3 messages in the neighborhood group. Everyone wants more tea, more herbs. Even that man on the back sent a message asking if we sell arnica ointment. Dona Rosa laughed, shaking her head. Do you see? The roots are already spreading. They opened the store half an hour earlier than agreed. It wasn't even 10 minutes before the first customer arrived. Mrs. Anna, from the compounding pharmacy, with a list in her hand. Rose, I need rosemary, sage, and some of that fresh ginger of yours. I'm making a toner for my sister's skin. Lucas ran to get the herbs while Dona Rosa explained. Rosemary helps with circulation, and sage is great for memory. But the real secret is the way to prepare it. Dona Anna wrote down everything, thanked her and left. Before closing the door, he turned back. If you have anything else for your skin, I'll take it. My sister is obsessed with wrinkles. Lucas looked at Dona Rosa, who winked at him. You can leave it, Anna. We have a recipe that is hit and miss. When the door closed, Lucas' eyes widened. Grandma, we don't have any recipes. Dona Rosa chuckled. Now there is. She went to an old notebook, full of notes and dry leaves between the pages. He leafed through until he found what he was looking for. Here. Aloe mask with honey and turmeric. It says it leaves the skin as smooth as a baby's bottom. Lucas laughed. And have you already tested it? Of course. But my grandmother wore it, and she died at 92 with the skin of a 50-year-old. So are we going to sell this? Let's go. But first, we need to do it. They spent the morning preparing the mixture. Lucas cut the aloe leaves. Dona Rosa grated the turmeric and heated the honey. In the end, it was a yellowish and fragrant paste. And now? Lucas asked. Now we test. Dona Rosa rubbed a little on the back of her hand and waited. Luke did the same. They stood there, looking at their arms as if it were a scientific experiment. It's burning a little, Lucas said. It's turmeric. It says it cleans pores. What if it doesn't work? Then we come up with something else. But it worked. After washing, the skin felt soft, almost glowing. Lucas swiped his finger and smiled. It's really good. Didn't I say? Dona Rosa patted him on the back. Now we just need to sell. And they sold. At the end of the day, the mask was gone, and the waiting list already had 5 names. Even the man behind his back appeared again, this time with his granddaughter. She wants to know if there's something for her spine, he said, pointing to the girl. Lucas looked at Dona Rosa, who was already taking the notebook. Yes, he has. But that's a topic for another day. The girl smiled, relieved. When they closed the store, Lucas sighed, tired but happy. I think we are really making a difference. Dona Rosa looked at him, with that sparkle in her eyes again. It's not just a difference, Lucas. It's root. And once a root is caught, it never lets go.